Hello. Welcome to Spirit Sessions, A View of the Light, and we're here live on Facebook and on YouTube, also later on our podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we want to introduce our wonderful Teresa Warren as my co-host, and Bex Marie. She is still here, and she is still working with Spirit Sessions. She's just got scheduling problems with her other job, and as in they make her work on Sundays. So hopefully we'll be able to get Bex in the studio again, but she still does all the graphics, and she's still supporting us and helping us along, and hopefully our schedules will again allow her to do it. We'll try to get some pre-recorded ones so she's live with us, sort of. But today we have a wonderful guest who's been a great support to Spirit Sessions. She's come on and co-host. She's been on a few times, and she is the embodiment of love here for us. And she's going to talk about everything she's going on. She's a good friend of Teresa's, and I'm going to put Kim Van Sande on. And Teresa, you can do a little intro for her. Thanks.
Thank you. So excited to be here again.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's exciting to have you here, Kim. And I am enjoying all your teachings and things that I'm learning from your class that I'm taking. And the embodiments, you've got amazing meditations and activations and things that change everything. I mean, I'm feeling great changes, and so you're a wonderful teacher, and I sure appreciate all that you share. And for those of you out there who've ever had an Akashic reading with me, you know I always start out pulling a card from Kim's deck. Today we have Kim here to do it. So
Yay.
Take it away.
Thank you. I'm so excited and honored to be here again and to sit on this side as well and co-creating with you this beautiful conversation. So yeah, I think it's beautiful to start with drawing a card for this conversation. And it started for me with downloading my book, Activating the Flower of Love, that I channeled, I think now 2 years ago. And then this year, the card deck was born. And it is beautiful because what I notice in my own journey, like it is one thing to read something and to understand or understand with our minds, but I am also being guided and invited to consistently deepen my own experiences. Also with Activating the Flower of Love, yes, I channeled it and I read it a lot of times while editing and all of that. But now I am deepening it in my life in my own way. And in that, the download for the card deck came in, because the beautiful thing about the card deck, it is inviting us to deepen within these teachings, to deepen within ourselves, because when we grow and when we expand, we get to understand these multidimensional teachings in new ways. And I think that's beautiful. So it's ever evolving, just like we are. So let's see which card is beautiful for this conversation. So let's see which one it is. So this one is coming up, and they each have like a code on the front. So this is the code for today, and it's number 13, Signals of Your Body. And I will read it like, your body is a temple of infinite potential, a gateway to the wisdom and magic of the universe. It is calling out to you, urging you to listen to its signals and take action towards your highest good. By tuning in and honoring the needs of your body, you will discover a deeper connection with your higher self and a newfound appreciation for the power of self-love. Your body is a sacred vessel for your soul to express itself and manifest your deepest desires. Treat it with the love and respect it deserves, and watch as it flourishes and thrives. Listen to the wisdom of your body. Trust in its messages and allow yourself to be guided toward a life of vitality, joy, and abundance. And you can deepen on page 25 for anyone having the book. And this is the message of now. Yeah, so I think it's a beautiful message, because we are all being invited to listen to our body and to listen to, we have our emotions, we have our body, and it's consistently guiding us. And where also for me, when I grew up, a lot of things were like, you need to go on and you need to set this in the world and you need to create and you need to consistently be busy and be, in a way, distracted. But by that, we went away from the signals of our body, we went away from the signals of our emotions, and we are now being invited to listen again, to listen to the whispers of our soul that that is communicating to us through these messages. Like if you feel discomfort in your body, tune in what it wants to share. Because we are sometimes, it's also what I notice in my own awakening journey over the last couple of years, where before I was looking for the answers outside of myself, in a new teaching, in a new way of being, but we are now being invited to go within. And yes, we can
Yes.
use support in that. Yes, we have our blind spots, but the answers are always within ourselves, within our bodies, within our emotions, within everything that is within us. But we need to be willing to listen. I think it's a beautiful message, because also this is deepening. We can understand with the mind, but we are now being invited to understand with our body and to truly embody the wisdom that we got to receive. So
I
receive
love
the code.
that.
I would say.
Oh, what's the picture of?
Yeah.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, they all have their own unique code. So you can also use the code instead of the word. So you can place it somewhere, or you can make a picture for on your phone, the background, because then the image is also working with your multidimensional self. Because that's a beautiful thing, and it's also with the book. It's communicating with your higher self. There's a certain part we can understand with our minds, but there's also a lot of things that are happening in the multidimensional realms of us and within our energy field, and that is beautiful. Like these codes of love communicate with that. So it's also when we are going on this healing journey, there are certain things that has happened to us that we get to heal, that we get to accept within ourselves, that we get to love, embrace. But there are also so many parts that come from family lineages, or that come from past lifetimes, that come from collective systems, or things that are shifting in planetary things. And then we can feel like, what am I doing wrong? But it's allowing the codes of love to support us, that go beyond human understanding, go beyond.
I I love this because what I love about your material is that, well, first of all, like with a lot of the readings I do, whether they're Akashic readings or the card readings according to the moon signs and stuff, but all the things pointing toward that really it's time in our human spiritual evolvement to be moving from where everything is triggering us from
Mhm.
not paying attention to our bodies and stuff, and all the material that you bring through is really like a bridge helping us to step in to
Yes.
our next biggest self, and I
Yeah.
love that. It's like that is what we need
Yes.
right now.
But it is. It's like this time in our evolutionary journey is inviting us to stand in our light, to stand in our truth, to feel empowered, to bring our message forward, because that's the only way we can change. When we can truly can change as a collective, not only our own lives, but also that of the collective. When we can truly embrace every part of us with love, that is when things can shift. When we can say to our shadows, I see you, I love you, bring it on, because there's so much wisdom within our shadows, but we have been pushing them away because we are afraid. We are afraid of our power. We are afraid of the light. We are afraid of the wisdom, because most of the time within these shadow parts, there is so much wisdom, but there have been many lifetimes where we couldn't share that wisdom because we were killed for it, or were shamed for it, or we were put apart from the community. And we are now all being invited to reclaim these parts, but that is asking the power of love to support, because it is only with love that we can truly embrace these parts within ourselves. And it is also, it empowers us to stand in that path of saying yes to all of that we are. Yeah.
I love that. While I was watching you talk, I promise you, I can sense and feel a white dragon behind you, and it keeps
I love
perking
that.
up and getting brighter as you say things, and it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I love it.
I was interested in that. Like it's like embracing all of us, even the parts we don't like anymore or have retired. You know, like
I get it, Rhonda.
that was funny. We had a conversation before you got on about retiring parts of our body, and I said you can't retire parts of yourself.
No.
It takes the whole being, physically and spiritually, to go forward. Like you can't just hack off, and you can't hack off parts of your life either. Like they've all shaped us as well, and our lineage as well. So you've got it. It's a whole. Yeah, it's an honoring. It's a you've got us this far.
Yeah. But I also think, like, in evolutionary sense, or in consciousness, awakening consciousness, we have done so much as a collective, but you can only reach a certain point with hard work. You can only reach a certain point with only looking at your good sides. But now we are inviting to elevate into our next level. And that also means that we can embrace our wholeness, because there's nothing wrong with our shadows. There's nothing wrong with our emotions. We have all in some way been taught to not be too much, to not be too loud, to not be too excited, to not be different than someone else. But in that, we have also lost these essential parts of ourselves. We have pushed it away. And now we are all being invited to go to this life where we feel fulfilled in every cell of our being. And that's most of the time very different than the projections we have received when growing up, because it's not about only getting a house and having a family. And yes, those things are beautiful. But if you really go look, like, what is the deeper fulfillment? And if you are watching this, you also know you have a bigger mission, a bigger purpose in this lifetime. And that is inviting you to stand up from your wholeness. And what I notice in my own journey, we always keep evolving and growing. But as I stand more in my truth, in my message, and as I stand for this Flower of Love Mystery School lineage, I am being invited to harmonize all these different shadow layers in my field. Because if I have a lot of triggers within my field, people around me, because I have a different opinion than the collective, people around me could consistently trigger me on my limitations, on my shadows, on my and the more I harmonize my field, the more I can just hold this love field for others to empower themselves to stand in their light, in their truth. But if I would have a field filled with triggers, I would respond to someone from that, instead of just saying, I see you, I love you, bring it on, because there's power in your trigger, there's power in your challenge, in your shadows. And yes, it will not always be easy, but it is the only way, because otherwise you can only reach a certain level. There is a certain, how do you say, a ceiling that you can reach with only the mind and with hard work and the old paradigm way of doing.
The triggers sort of push us beyond, you say. So maybe the challenges, it's like when you're doing anything, you have to be challenged at whatever. You're always challenging yourself to go a little bit faster, a little bit higher, a little bit further, I guess.
It is the opposites that show us what we really want. And it's not always easy. But I think that is also, if we can really be truthful about that and just can say, okay, I know this part of my life is not easy, or I'm going through a challenge, but those are powerful initiations. And when you can embrace that in that way, that is empowering instead of feeling like a victim. So it's saying, okay, if you can really stand in this truth, whatever is happening, like the universe is always supporting me, I am being guided every step of the way. But these triggers are opportunities for me to discover what is within my subconscious layers, to become even more light and become even more joyful and excited and resilient. Because that is what I noticed within my own journey. It's not about always joy or fun. It is about your resilience. Like if something happens, if I get challenged, if I get activated through something, it is an invitation for me to grow. But how quickly can I then realign to my true nature, to my light, to my mission, to my purpose? And that is what I would want for everyone. And that is also what the Flower of Love embodiment is about. It helps you to harmonize these layers within your field. It helps you to create a cohesiveness, so that when you send out a message, when you send out an intention, it is that vibration that is going out, instead of the triggers, instead of the subconscious programming that have been there for many, many lifetimes sometimes. So it's becoming this pure. And that is an ever-evolving journey, but it's creating this foundation of resilience that you can fully say yes and stand there for whatever you are here to bring into the world. So, yeah. But I think resilience is powerful.
Oh, yeah. I think with all the challenges that we have nowadays, like, and they're hitting us bang, 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 the resilience is a big thing, because it always seems like you turn around and something else has changed and you have to be resilient and you can't just cave. But what I noticed this week when I was working with your graphic, I'm going, flower of love. It says flower of love. I kept saying flower of love, which to me, if that's exactly what you do. You are a flower, a channeler of love, and that's what you hold space for. So it's not only flower, it's flower. It depends on, I don't know if it's the same in Dutch, but in English it's like flower. Yeah, I don't think you spell it any different.
Yeah.
But I was looking at it going, is that how you spell flower? I had to go and look at it 3 times because it kept presenting as flower to me. I thought that was very interesting.
That's a neat insight.
Yes, I love that. Yeah. But I also love how the universe just brings us messages in that way. And it's, also when you spell something different or wrong, or sometimes there's a message in spelling something wrong, or the universe is bringing you a message, or when there's a detour, it's watching up because something is popping up in our field. Yeah.
Yeah, being dyslexic, I get lots of different messages.
Yes.
But that was really interesting today. So tell us a little bit about your school, your mystery school, and your deck. Well, I want to know about your deck because that's very new since the last time you were in. Can you show it us a little bit? Sorry, I reached out and grabbed my phone.
Well, and that's also, I think, beautiful for everyone to know. It's like it is inviting you and me and to say yes to our initial inspirations. Because 2 years ago, I received the inspiration to channel Activating the Flower of Love, and it really needed to be Activating the Flower of Love. And back then, I had no idea why it was activating, but I was just allowing the channeling to come through me. So the book came through, and then it came into the world. And that's the interesting thing, that the moment I channeled these multidimensional love frequencies, I got to embody them. So sometimes the mind thinks, okay, the moment you channel them, they are all set, but it's not. The moment they landed, the moment they came from energy into physical form, I was being invited to, in my own life, really embody these teachings and go through the different chapters, the different phases. And while I was doing that, the whole mystery school lineage came through. So I received the inspiration for the embodiment, because there's one thing to activate love, but what are we then going to do with it? So then the Flower of Love embodiment came in, and in the end, but it was through me each time stretching myself into my next level, embracing more of who I am, doing my inner work. Well, it's not doing, just being with me in love, with these 3 teachings, with the Flower of Love Council, to deepen within myself. And through that, the whole lineage came through. So after embodiment, when we embody love, when we have this cohesive inner garden, and we have this field where we can stand in our truth, it's time to create something, to alchemize whatever is within us. And so the whole lineage was born, and the ambassadorship, sharing these teachings. So I'm excited, but it's all, and that is what I want to invite everyone tuning into this. It's all through the inner connection. So instead of the old paradigm way where I was taught, like also in marketing, when you want your teachings to spread the world, go out there and do marketing and all the 3D structures that are there. I don't do conventional marketing. I do the inner work. And through the inner work, people come on my path in magical ways, and not via through the ways that I do the standard, like sharing a Facebook message or an Instagram message. So it's beautiful to see that when we truly step into this new paradigm way of being, magical things happen. And sometimes they don't happen in the quickness as our mind wants to, but they happen in more magical ways. And I get to experience the most beautiful things that are coming on my path. But it starts with saying yes to an initial inspiration. And that's like also stepping out of the conditioning where we need to have the 10-step plan. That is not the New Earth way. The New Earth way is not like, if you go do something, you will be safe in everything you do, or you will have a 10-year plan of what is happening. No, this New Earth way is inviting you to create this resilience. So that is the power of the embodiment. Because when we are in this embodied state of love, we can say yes to the inspiration that comes on our path. And by that, new ways open up, because it's like the path is illuminated with every step we take. But if you don't take the initial step, the next step will not reveal itself. And it was the same with the whole mystery school lineage. Like the moment I downloaded in 20 hours the whole book, I couldn't have imagined that now 2 years later, the whole mystery school lineage was there, the card deck was there. So it's like it's saying yes to who you are, but that also invites you to say yes to love, to say yes to receiving, to say yes to everything you feel to be true within yourself. And that is a deepening spiral. So I'm consistently daily deepening within these teachings, deepening the own lineage experience, and also the card deck really helps with that. So each morning I pick a card, and on my website you can also draw a card a day. So if you would like to draw one for yourself, it's there's a pick a card a day you can use. So if you go to the floweroflove.love website, you will find it. But it's my mission to empower others, but it starts with love. It starts with saying yes to all that you are, to all the visions you have, but also the shadow parts, because that's the only way we are able to move forward. And that's also what this next evolutionary step is asking from us, to embrace everything.
What I liked about sharing your deck, like I said, when I open my Akashic readings with people, even before I listen to their questions or what they want me to look into the Akash for, I'm sitting there and I pull the card before we get face to face. So then here we are, and I say, let me read this to you. And then every time after I read it, they come back and say, that's exactly what I came here to talk about. That's exactly what I came here to know. And it's like, how could that one deck do that so many times again and again and again? And so I love that. Your deck is multidimensional, it's powerful, and it fits everyday things and long-term things. You know what I mean? I love it. Yeah. So thank you
it's also
for bringing it.
Yeah, thank you. Because in the end, that's what I believe. Like, we are all part of this lineage. If you feel resonance to love, to the Flower of Love Mystery School, or to any of these teachings, like, they are connected to the field of love consciousness. There are teachings of, well, you can also call it Christ consciousness, but I feel in the essence for me, it's love. But we are all part of that lineage of anchoring that next phase. Like, it feels what the Flower of Love Council have consistently shared with me, like over eons. Light workers on Earth have been working so hard to anchor light on Earth. But now we are being invited to ignite this light with love, because that is the next phase. Yes, we have created these powerful anchors in a grid around the Earth, and you can see them like seeds. So they have been planted also by Christ and everyone, like they have planted seeds of light. But now we have raised our vibration so high that it's time to allow these seeds to blossom open with love. Because when we truly can let love come in, it opens a whole different dimension. And the more souls that are saying yes to love, loving themselves, because it starts with loving yourself, the more love will come to the earth, the more magic, the more power, the more, it's just this powerful web that then spreads wide and far. But it's also interesting to know that it really is the unconditional love of the universe. And that means, like, you don't have to do anything to receive it. You can just tune in and choose to connect to the field of love consciousness and allow these fields to support you, to nurture you. But what you will also notice is the more love you embody, the more you love yourself, the more boundaries you will feel. And that's, like, we had a short talk about that earlier. Like, sometimes the vision can be, okay, when I embody more love, it will only be fairies and magic and unicorns and happy. And no, but you will feel your boundaries. You will feel, you will stop leaking your energy. You will feel like, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. I am not tolerating this anymore. And that can also create resistance in your surroundings. But it feels empowering because you are no longer letting anyone take your sovereignty away. But it is also you needing this love then to know that you can hold this vision, you can hold your boundaries, you can hold this empowering field, even though your surroundings need to get used to you not giving over again.
Right.
And that is huge, and that is what I love about community, because we all go through this in our own unique way. And that's like the Flower of Love embodiment journey. It's a group journey, but that's also the power, because you get to share with each other. Like if things happen, to know it is okay, and it's you standing in your truth, because that is a different thing as well. And in the Activating the Flower of Love as well, there is a chapter that shares, when you embody more love, you will also trigger sometimes in others where they do not love themselves yet. And then it's you holding this love field and not going with them into their trigger. Because if you would go with them into their trigger, it's placing a band-aid, and it's not really healing what is there. But if you can hold your truth, and they can just be angry or sad or whatever emotion wants to come out, you give them a true chance to change something. And then we get to change the whole field, instead of only keep repeating the same old patterns that don't serve us, that don't fulfill us, that don't make us happy in a deep way.
I love that. I'm over here taking notes. I don't know if you guys have noticed.
Yeah, but
No,
we
I
get
love
to
that.
do it together. Yeah.
So I have a weird question, because you channel the Council of the Flower of Love. So
Yes.
when you speak your light language, is that who you're channeling to?
Yes. Yeah, they're coming too, but it's in many different forms. So also when channeling the book, in the original channeling, because I channeled it through words and then I typed it out. So in the original channeling, it was also some parts, chapters were channeled by Thoth, others Anna, the grandmother of Jeshua, came through very strongly, others Mary Magdalene. But we took that out, because in the end, for me as well, in my consciousness, it's an energy. It's not per se like they came through with a message in that energy, and they collectively hold this field of love consciousness. And that's also in the whole book. It's just the weaving of these love energies together. And I think that's the powerful thing as well. Each time a group comes together in whatever form, it is the totality. And that is true with also the Flower of Love Council, like Tove. He brings in a certain part. Mary Magdalene brings in a certain part. Anna, Jeshua, like Isis, Hathor, they all came through with different parts, but they also needed to come together to create this wholeness. And each time, also in the mystery school, when a group comes together, we are all part of this wholeness, all part of this, like you can see it like a puzzle of a pie. And it's trusting that everyone in the group has its unique contribution that creates this. And I'm all about that, because the new earth is about sharing, it's about co-creating, it's about building this legacy of love in your own unique way, but also together, because that's the only way we can truly create change. And so it is so that's why I'm always very grateful for everyone joining, speaking my language. Yes. Beautiful. Thank you for joining and sharing as well. Yeah,
it reminds me of that verse in the New Testament that says, whether one or more are gathered, there's love, right? So much. It's so true. Like we can only do so much by ourselves, but when we join our energies are together, that's so much more.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
We share our knowledge and we share our energy and we share our love, and that just makes everything so much bigger and better and shinier. We learn faster that way too.
Yeah. But it's also like not seeing each other as competition, because that's also within the Flower of Love lineage. Like, I am so grateful for also you, Teresa, but also other souls joining, because yes, there's a part that I got to channel and I got to represent here on earth, but there's also a part each one of you gets to represent, and we all grow and expand through that. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Like also in the lineage, like as people go through the lineage and their field becomes more harmonious and more in line, and they get to create their own legacy, they get to create their own birth their own thing into the world. We get to co-create in magical ways, and we get to share. And I think that's the beautiful, like also new earth vision, like, using each other's ways of also with sharing in a podcast or sharing in, like, it's spreading these teachings in many different ways. And I think like the co-creation, and when you truly stand in this field of love, you can also honor that. Like you stop the competition, that also comes out of your field and all of that. So I think that's the beautiful thing as well. Like I celebrate everyone remembering who they are in their essence and supporting them to bring forth, because every one of you has its own unique, powerful mission here. And the only way you can birth that is by co-creating together and creating this support network that helps you to evolve, because we all have our blind spots and we keep ever evolving. So I also love, like Teresa, sometimes like your Akashic records, like we if we can truly support each other to bring the best out of ourselves, that is magic. And I think that's what love does when you truly, yeah. But it's taking away the filters of the old. It's taking away the dimensions where we are out of alignment with that part of it in us. So yeah.
Because this is what it's time for. It's time to come to our true selves, and to be
Yeah.
able to open up for more of our higher selves. And how do we do that? By getting triggered all the time, or taking those triggers and converting them and seeing them all with love. And that really changes everything. It
Yeah.
opens a whole new door, as love is not just an emotion, but a force of creation, and
It is.
a
Yeah.
force to aspire to.
Yeah.
And it's just so exciting. I just love what we all do, you guys.
Me too. Yeah, and it allows you, because it is, well, just notice in your own life, in a situation where you felt seen, where you felt loved, where you felt supported. That's the moment you soften. That's the moment you allow your walls to dissolve and you can discover your magic, your truth. That is the moment when you are in flow. Suddenly inspiration comes in. And but then it's also like with every cycle of creation, the moment the inspiration comes in and you are being guided to birth something new into the world, the moment you grow, then the moment you expand, an old set of slower vibrations that have prevented you from birthing that into the world will get activated. And then you need to have the tools, the alignment, the embodiment to know how to harmonize, alchemize these vibrations within your field. It's now the same with like a year ago, I started my Soul Love podcast, and now we're creating a co-author book. But each time you step into your next level expression, also for me, it's like a new set or an old set of slower vibration comes up. But it is the old set of slower vibrations that have prevented me from creating that before. But it is true, me choosing to grow and expand, these things come up for me to harmonize so that I can step into my next level. And I think the beautiful thing is about this next phase for everyone. It's not about knowing and understanding, nor it's more about getting to know your tools, your inner guidance that can support you each time you are going into your next level to harmonize or to overcome what comes. Because it's part of this earthly journey, the opposites. It's part of this evolutionary experience that when you grow and expand, a new cycle of creation comes, a cycle of death and rebirth. And I went to Egypt a couple of times, and it's also that process. They describe it so beautifully. Like it's when you birthing something new, it also means that an old part, and it's not a physical death, but an old part needs to create space for the new to be born. But that can sometimes be very challenging within your field, or it can be scary. And that's like when you then have the tools of love, the empowerment, you can just say yes to this next evolution, and it goes much more quicker. And because it is in surrendering. When we go fighting these parts of ourselves, when we go fighting our resistance, our triggers, it can take weeks, months, years before we evolve. And when we can just see them with love, and when we can surrender in knowing and feeling that we are supported, safe, nurtured in every part of our being, they can sometimes shift in just a couple of
Yeah,
seconds.
accelerate for sure.
Yeah, it is. It's true. Like, yeah, love is a rocket fuel. It's really
Yeah,
like you are empowered by love. Anything is possible. That's one of the, but it truly is. It's like, but it's for everyone, it's different. And that is sometimes I think that's the beautiful thing, but sometimes also the difficult thing to share. Also for me, like with the beautiful souls and clients I get to work with, they all have different experiences, because for you, empowered by love and your mission might hold something totally different than for someone else. And I think also in 3D marketing, like we are going through to a phase where you get to be who you are in your essence, where you get home within yourself. But for everyone that looks different. So for someone that will be like, I don't know, becoming a multidimensional, multimillionaire entrepreneur and sharing. And for someone else, it will be just living in nature and connecting with animals. And for someone else, it will be just having a beautiful household with your family and doing that in an empowering, loving way. And it's so different but also to really embrace this mission, embrace what you are being called to create and not judge it. Because, yeah. So there are so many things that are coming forth in that way. Yeah.
What amazing times. And I'm so glad you bring all that through and anchor it here. It's like, I know we're moving to that,
Yeah.
but still having you here bringing it in and showing it to us and modeling it for us. I mean,
Yeah.
you're a mentor and an inspiration both.
Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome.
But I'm all about sharing from that embodied state. So I'm going through that process in cycles consistently myself, and from me overcoming the obstacles in my life, from loss to chronic illness and everything. I know I went through that, and that's also why I can stand next to someone else going through their shadows, holding this space of love. But it is, and I think that's the new paradigm way of being, where you get to share truly from this lived through space instead of sharing from knowing from the mind. And it's not a judgment, but you can also, for me, I have read so many books, but do I really understand that if I hit a trigger, do I really has it become my new coping mechanism? Because for a lot of people, they know a lot of beautiful tools and they are exciting, but in a moment you are challenged, in a moment you are triggered, what gets activated? Is it the old paradigm? Is it the old programming, or are it the beautiful teachings you got to understand with your mind? And I am inviting people to get to understand with your body, with your experiences, so that the moment you get triggered, you get to respond from a new way. You get to respond from this empowered, aligned, resilient way. And that's how you create something new. Because otherwise, the moment you get triggered, you go back into this old pattern, this old cycle. And that's the new part. But it's not always easy, but it's also becoming honest about that. It doesn't have to be easy. But with a beautiful community, we can do anything, and we get to elevate each time more and more, instead of us taking 3 steps forward and 5 steps back. No, we take a step forward and anchor that as our new set point, and then we get to elevate even more. And it's seeing that. And yeah, but I'm also I'm just human and sharing from my heart, from my own experience, to empower you. And that's the most beautiful message, I think.
It's awesome. Yeah. Keeping it real, right?
It
And attainable, or like you say, like Teresa said, modeling it for people. So tell us a little bit about where people can find you and what you're offering, and maybe show us your cards again, and and where they can get them and purchase all that stuff, and also just like how we can interact with you every day. So.
Yeah, so the most of the information you can find on the floweroflove.love. You can find it here below. And this week we're starting a new Flower of Love embodiment journey. It's a 3-month journey where you get to go through some powerful activations. There are live group calls where we go into powerful transmissions that are aligned in that moment. And it really helps you to create this strong, resilient foundation of love, to stand in your truth and to step into your next level. And you can join whenever you want, but this week is a new round, but it's like an ongoing journey. So you can step in whenever you feel called. And you can get my book, Activating Flower of Love. It's on Amazon, but you can also order it in any online and offline bookstore if you just type in my name. And the card deck, if you also go to my website, floweroflove.love, there is a pick a card option. And there you can also find the link to buy it. So it's in the UK or in the USA, it's on Game Crafters, but maybe in the future there will be many other ways to buy it. But yeah, I want to invite you to just tune into love. And I am on Facebook and Instagram, and I think below you will find the links. But if you feel resonance with the Flower of Love lineage and with the field of love consciousness, it's time for you to step up, because it means you have a powerful mission. You have something unique to birth here into the world, and that is inviting you to use the fuel of love to step into that next level. So I would invite everyone to tune in and connect. You can also email me or find me on Facebook and message me. But
you can message Kim here, and she's welcome to respond to anybody that's asking. So, Kim, we've asked you this before, but we'll ask you again because some people have never seen you before, and this is their first time. So, what is your favorite crystal? Are you working with any crystals right now that you've been?
Yeah, I have a
find
crystal.
some over the summer.
I don't know the name. It's like, yeah, in the Holland they call it like a Mary Magdalene crystal,
Oh, neat.
but it's a combination of different ones. But this one I've been using this whole summer, so
Beautiful.
yeah,
Wow.
it's beautiful. Yeah,
That's
empowering. But I
powerful
don't know the
energy.
yes. I
Golden
love
and
it.
blue.
But I use a
all
lot of
kinds.
crystals, and I always use. Yeah, you don't really see them, but I have a lot of like these bigger ones. But they're also. I will look it up. They're a mixture, and they're in a Dutch name, so I don't know.
Okay. I wonder if it's like Coxonite or Melody 7 or something like that, where there's a whole bunch and they're
Wow.
self-clearing. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Yes.
Have you got any new favorite songs?
So many. I will have a quick. It's interesting. Like last time when I was co-host, I of course asked one time these questions, but there was a beautiful one, and that is about that's what I've been listening to this summer a lot. It's about standing in your truth. Oh. No. Well, another one is, but it's more no. Yeah, no. Instead, I can't find the. So it's born to be alive, I think, or born, but it's all about embracing your power and standing in your truth and in your light and being okay with whatever people resonate with that, but knowing that it's your journey and it's what you are here to embody and share. So it's a lot about the teachings, but it is such a beautiful song. If I will find the link and share it.
Yeah, you can share it in the comments below later. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Wait, Rhonda, before the last question, I got to tell you this, Kim. Sometimes when you do your light language, you just like talking it. Sometimes you go into this full-blown singing it. And not only does it transport me back in time, laying on a hillside, listening to you, but I was sitting there doing the dishes, and I felt like I had to burble up the same song, but it didn't come out. And so I'm thinking, Kim, you need an album too. You need some songs so I can learn this. And it was unfulfilled. It wanted to, and it's like, oh, I can't do that the same as Kim. You know what I mean? So
I love that.
It's time for a song.
Yeah. My vision a couple of years back, but I also trust that is in alignment, it will come on my path, was like creating with my light language, because it opens your heart in beautiful ways. Light language, it talks to your soul beyond the human understanding. So what I also notice in sessions, it's like portal openers, because sometimes when we say something with our mind and we understand, we get blocks in our system, we get freezes. And the beautiful thing about light language, it opens that up in a soft way. Our soul knows what it needs, and then suddenly we get to go into new depths of our being. But the beautiful vision I had was me like sharing it, but with a funky beat, like almost for young people, with the DJ tune, and then the light language becomes, then it's like sharing, but also opening people's hearts to love in soft, beautiful ways. So who knows? Whoever knows if that's aligned, it will come on my path, and there will be a beautiful DJ to accompany that light language.
Cool.
Yes, it is. Yes. So thank you for bringing that alive again. Yes, I love it.
Lovely language. You speak it so eloquently. Have you, when you were on your trip this summer and out camping, you were out and you could see the stars where you were? Did you see any UFOs or any weird sights? Nobody came to visit you? Or
No. I see sometimes, but it's not like I see again this summer a lot like light ball or like spots, sometimes white and yellow and sometimes green.
Like close by or out there?
They're in the many different, like especially when I am having certain conversations, I see, but for me they are like confirmations. I see suddenly a spark of light, but for me it feels like they're more angelic.
Okay, yeah, yes. Yeah, awesome. Yeah,
I have those.
Those little lights. Yeah.
Yes, and they just say yes, you're right, or there's a deeper thing, and then I know I need to go deeper into the conversation. So those I had a lot this summer. So those were,
that's
awesome. That's the beautiful thing about nature. We also, for me, it was really like a moment of relaxation and coming home, and so it really supports us to open us up even more for these signs. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Camping is so wonderful. Yeah,
It
I
is. Yeah.
didn't get out this summer, but in Canada, I like going fall camping better than summer camping.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the little creatures that I don't like are out.
I get that. Yeah. We don't have them in the Netherlands. It's like no. So that's
Wow.
different. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of sad in a way, but you probably at one, yeah. But now, yeah, we still have them, which I always say people always hate them most. It's sort of like if we run out of mosquitoes, then we run out of birds and all sorts of creatures. So
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
it's a whole different crowd. But anyways, I'm
Yeah.
glad when they're gone, and they migrate wherever they go to for the winter.
Oh, but we have bees and everything, but it's not like I can't go camping or there's no. They're beautifully around us, but it's not per se
No,
in our tent or yes.
awesome. So
Yes.
I'm glad you.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. Can you show us that card one more time, or did you?
Yeah, I already,
shuffle?
but I can draw a last one for because I already.
Good.
I shuffle the deck. Let's see after how our conversation evolved and how the frequency. Because I always love that the moment we share these conversations, like there's a part that's being shared by mind to understand, but there's so much happening in energy as well. So as you are tuning into this episode, so much is happening with your field, with your system that is beyond the human understanding. So we have evolved into nourishment, and that is this code.
Oh,
Embrace the power of self-nourishment and realignment with your true self. Dive into your inner garden where your soul awaits you with open arms. Receive the divine guidance and inspiration that will help you unleash your unique divine technologies. Let the energy of love flow through your being, fueling your transformation and empowering you to stand in your light. Know that every experience, challenge, and obstacle is an opportunity for growth and expansion. The codes of love that you receive will help you build your inner resilience, allowing you to shift your perspective and create a solid foundation of love for your highest potential to blossom. Trust in the journey, trust in yourself, and let the power of love lead you well. That's everything we talked about.
yeah.
And the power of love embodiment journey. So,
What a lovely summary. That's awesome.
yes, but it's just through the card. So that's what I love. Like, yeah, they're
That's
magical in
amazing.
so many ways.
They are magical.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
I'm glad you're doing well. And we can't wait to hear from you again. And we'll call on you when we need another co-host, because
Yes.
it's lovely to have you from the Netherlands. I'm always just amazed how your English is just flawless, and I can't even speak English that well most of the time. And you just the words just come out as if it's like, yeah, no problem. So
Well,
it's
thank you.
amazing. It's always amazing to me just the way you speak so well.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
and
I want
sacred.
to thank you for creating this platform for you, both of you, all of you, standing in your truth and your power and sharing your vision with the world, and that I get to be a part of it as well. So thank you so much. I am
Awesome.
honored. Yes.
Thank you.
You're so welcome, Sacred Yin. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Melinda. Glad you could come along today. And we're so happy to see you all. And be with us next week. Not sure if we're going live or if we're going to pre-record, but if we pre-record, then we can get back soon. So we're hoping one or the other. Anyways, so have a wonderful week. Listen to the replay. Take us on your podcast journey. We're portable, so listen to our podcasts now or the ones that are in our past ones. There's lots that you can listen to on your road trips. And take care for the rest of the summer. Thanks, Kim, again for joining with us. Thanks.